What is going on, everybody? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with some Dark Dimension 7 preparation. Now that we've gotten some great information in the game, there's going to be a blog post later on today as well breaking this down, but great to get this head start on how to prepare. And as well, now that we have some numbers, we can start analyzing some really big questions that everyone is having with respect to this new game mode and how long it's going to take and so forth. So we're going to be deep diving that today, guys. But first and foremost, if you haven't seen my previous videos, guys, just know that now Gear Tier 19 is officially in game, and these are the two areas that you can access it. So method number one, you can actually just purchase the materials directly through the use of gold. You may have seen the huge price changes with respect to teal gear and so forth, but as well, they've added the demonic, or in this case crimson gear, now that they updated it to an opportunity for us to actually be able to participate and purchase from our account. Raid store, these are Crimson Gear raid orbs as well as Armor 19. That's gonna be available from you participating only in the Incursion 2 raid. So if you guys are in Alliance and working on the end game stuff, you likely would have already been participating in these end game Incursion 2 raids, and you do actually get this rewarded each day now that it's getting paid out from the participation of the raids themselves. Now, having said that, guys, in today's video, I do want to focus more on the analysis side, so it's not going to be a roster preview or teams preparation, more so the analysis of, how much gold is it actually going to cost us. This number has been circulated across the community, which is 2.2 billion. Is that true? We're going to be taking a look at that, and as well, how long is it going to take overall for us, especially with my account being free to play. I love getting this understanding, so that way not only can I mentally prepare, but as well know what my game plan is in terms of a daily standpoint, how much I should be farming in terms of the materials, how much gold I should be utilizing, and so forth. And then finally, what should we be doing now to maximize this efficiency and progression towards this huge end game that's going to unlock this amazing character, absolutely going to reshape the meta, same way that Super Scroll did when he came into the game, but now Mephisto does directly counter these mythic characters. So it's great to see this addition, but also the viability and future theory crafting opportunities that's going to present itself. So all this information in game, guys, we were able to populate some data sheets here that I'm going to show you. But first and foremost, I do want to point out that there is no Dark Dimension 7 planner yet. So, we've been so spoiled with this information with the Dark Dimension planners on the website that we're easily able to populate, what we need to farm and so forth. We don't have that yet. Hopefully, they're going to have that shortly after March 20th, which is the slotted date of when Dark Dimension 7 is going to be joining in game here. Having said that, though, we can actually still speculate from taking a look at the information in game, right? So what I have here is Robbie Reyes as an example. You can see, obviously, he's going to be one of the characters I'm absolutely bringing into Dark Dimension 7, but you can click into the individual gear pieces, see what is required from an origin gear, mini uniques, and so forth, the catalyst, and then put that all together. So I did use him as an example. I like Robbie because he's probably going to be a selected character. He's also part of, a heavily sought after trait, which in this case is Mystic, and we do need miasma gear for him. So he's going to be a textbook example to analyze, and he's not overly expensive. He's actually slotted in at the 3 mark, so 3 pieces of mini uniques for each of his upgrades. So not cheap, but also not expensive. So I like how he's in the middle, likely the average for folks for choosing characters that are going to be participating in Dark Dimension 7. So a great textbook example is why I chose Robbie. Now, using his information, now we were able to go through and take a look at the gear. There's a wealth of information in this data, so I do want to walk you guys through what's happening here from left to right, and then discuss with you the findings following that. So as you can see from the left, we do have populated here the materials that we're going to be looking at, right? So that's origin gear, the catalyst, mini uniques, the uniques in total, the gold cost applicable if we're bringing him to level 100, and then finally the total. So we're going to be going from left to right, so that way you guys have a really good navigation here. As you can see, with Robbie, he's going to be needing 570 pieces of the origin gear, 880 catalysts, 108 pieces of the mini uniques, and finally 18 pieces of the miasma to bring him into Gear Tier 19. The associated gold with that down the middle here is 11.4 million, 17.6, 43.2, 14.4 respectively. And then as well, we also added in how much it's going to cost to bring a character from level 95 to level 100. So in totality here, everything to bring Robbie to Gear Tier 19 is going to cost 93 0.2 million in gold. And then what I did for the 5 tunes gold, which is the column to the right, is that I just multiplied everything by 5, because if we're bringing 5 characters, that's going to be consistently similar with Robbie and his requirements at the 3 mini uniques per. It's going to be a pretty good proration here. So in totality, bringing 5 characters into Dark Dimension 7 is going to cost your account 466 million gold. Remember, the free-to-play gold that we typically earn is around that 130 to 140 million mark. So obviously, we're not going to have enough gold immediately, but we're going to need to amass this over time. That would be about, you know, less than 4 months of farming and making sure that you guys are staying with it. 4 months of activity is going to get you that amount of gold, but that's also assuming you use everything for the 5 tunes. Now, what I also want to factor into this analysis, guys, is actually taking a look at raids, because I think this is a really missed detail in the analysis, because of the fact that we're getting actually a lot of value from the raid orbs. And that's why, you know, I've stressed in my previous videos as well, it's absolutely and crucially important to be in a top end alliance, or even just like a beginning end game, and participating in these incursion 2 raids. Yeah, you don't need massive teams to participate in them either, guys. You're gonna be getting minimum rewards just for participating, so that's why it's important to just ditch incursion 1. It's time to elevate to incursion 2. Get the ranked rewards here for these crimson gear, because it's gonna compound, it's gonna add up, right? So in 1 day worth of orbs, which I got yesterday, we got 14 pieces of the origin gear, 30 catalysts, 2.6 of the mini uniques, and then finally 1 piece of the unique. So obviously the RNG can play a factor. Maybe sometimes you can get 2 pieces of uniques in the 6 orbs, but I'm just going to be conservative as heck here, just so that way we can take a look at what's going to be prorated for the full month. You can see even the gold value, right? It's essentially equating to 2.7 million gold in value each time you open these 7 to 8 orbs that you're getting from both the Crimson Gear and the Gear Tier 19 mini uniques, which is going to add up significantly, guys. And that's why I pointed out in my past videos, is that this is going to be a very important piece of making sure that we're getting geared up and ready for Gear Tier 19. Now, we prorate these numbers to 30 days for the raids. That's totaling 420 of the origin gear, 900 catalyst pieces, 78 mini uniques, and then finally 30 pieces of the uniques. And you can see that in value as well, right? From a monthly perspective, that is 81.6 million in gold per month. That is actually you know, enough to level up and bring 1 character to Gear Tier 19 each month practically. If you look at the differential there with the missing gold from level 95 to 100, it's pretty darn close. So then what I also want to take a look at then is, if we assume that we're preparing 1 character per month using this kind of method with the raid orbs, and keep in mind, this is not including any purchases that we're doing in the gold supply store, what is going to be deficit? Are there areas that we should focus in on? Yes, there is. Under my deficit column to the far right, it does look like we do not get enough origin gear from the raid orbs. Our catalysts are going to be okay, you know, just a little bit over, but, you know, practically break even. And then we're going to also be missing these mini uniques, but the uniques actually themselves are okay. But keep in mind, uniques is kind of interesting because obviously it's random, right? The uniques is random. There's 20 plus other uniques. So chances are this is the one we need to hone in on. Everybody knows that already. So really, though, that means that we should have some extra attention to origin gear, mini uniques, and as well as the big uniques, the key ones, right? Like osmium, miasma, astral energy, and so forth. So that's basically what the analysis tells us here, guys. It's pretty significant in terms of what we're going to be getting from a monthly perspective for raids, which is why I keep highlighting that, because this is such a missed point. And even if you do the math correctly here, yes, it's going to cost 466 million to bring 5 tunes in to Dark Dimension 7 for the first time, but if you're actually doing it from a monthly perspective, it could almost be a wash if you're using the raid value that we're taking a look at here. And that's kind of what I want to talk about next here. You know, the first 5 tunes to Dark Dimension 7 is going to cost 466. Well, if you wait 5 months with the amount of orbs that we're earning here, plus minus the purchases that you're making in the gold supply, you're only going to be down about 58 to 60 million. So again, it's going to take 5 months. This is assuming that there's no other way that there's gear coming for the Crimson Gear, right? Which we know is not going to be the case. There's going to be other avenues. I'm sure they're going to release offers. I'm sure they're going to add it to battle passes, strike passes, and so forth. So this is like a worst case scenario, and even the worst case doesn't even look that bad. So that's why I like putting this information into number form so that way I can understand it better, but as well, now I know kind of my expectations, right? Keep in mind, guys, we need about 25 tunes to complete Dark Dimension 7, given the Mythic Trait Edition, right? So in this case, there's probably going to be other ways to obtain this gear, but again, if we assume worst case, which is 5 months, it takes 1 month per character, you're only going to be down a net cost of 60 million in gold, which is not even that bad because we earn about 130 plus each month. So guys, this is just a screenshot of kind of what I expected in my first 6 orbs. Again, it doesn't include the mini unique ones, but this is pretty significant. It's going to add up over time, like I said, and that's why it's extremely important to start farming this as soon as you can. And it's free. It's basically participating incursions. You don't even need to like, you just need to enter the incursion, try a node, and you don't even need to complete the node, and you'll get rewarded. And that's kind of how crazy it is. Like, you're better off just going into Alliance and participating, and even if you guys don't hit 30%, you're getting rewards. Astronomical. So findings overall, roughly 1 tune per month free to play is possible if no more gear tier 19 is going to get provided this way. So it's actually really important to know this, and now we can, it doesn't feel as pressured. It's going to take some time for sure. This could be very well one of the hardest Dark Dimension 7s that we've ever seen in terms of just getting into the game mode because of this new gear. But we know there's going to be more avenues coming, so I'm not worried about that. This analysis was able to point out that we're going to need to focus more on the origin gear and mini uniques because we are going to be lacking that even with the raid orbs, but as well, making sure that you guys are targeting those uniques you need. Like I said, there's some big ones like Osmium and Miasma that we're going to be really, really important for those key tunes, and that's definitely something we need to put our attention to. So likely 3 to 4 months to gear prep from start to finish, which is now, and you know, that's the beautiful part, right? We're already prepping and Dark Dimension 7 isn't even out yet, but I suspect if this is going to be a current trend that holds and there's going to be some limited release here of materials, it will be probably 8 to 10 months to fully complete, even free to play. So I'll keep you guys up to date, but this is our findings here in terms of what we're expecting now. So great to get this confirmation. Yeah, so, you know, back to that big question on the 2.2 million, 2.2 billion gold. Does it cost that? I mean, it's 466 million right here. And that's assuming you don't do any raids, right? So it's actually less than 2 billion gold, but at the same time, they probably didn't factor in the raid. So, I mean, that just to answer you guys' question, it's going to be darn close, right? It doesn't help much, but we can start preparing. And the good news is that the raids do help quite a bit. So we definitely want to maximize what we can. Let me know anything in the comments below. Hopefully this helps you guys prepare and mentally just get engaged here because there's going to be lots and lots of stuff coming. So definitely looking forward to that. Thank you for your time as always. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.